showing you a simple but healthy recipe to give you a fresh start on your food. Today we're gonna detox, and all that means is removing toxins from your bodies, getting those impurities out. And today we're gonna show you, I'm gonna show you how to make my delicious detox soup. Because when the weather starts to get cool, which it is going to be happening very soon, we would love to have a nice, warm, cozy bowl of soup. Right, Dr. Steve?
Oh, I love it, especially when the weather gets cold. It's the only way I get through my day.
Absolutely. But first, I'm going to take a second to introduce you to my tasters over here that we grabbed from the audience, Angela and Kristen.
Yeah.
All right. How you ladies doing?
Hi, good. How are you? Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. All right, so have you ever done like a detox soup or just a detox period?
I've done a detox, never a soup though. So
Never
I'm
a soup,
excited,
okay.
yes.
All right, do you cook?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm Italian, so yes.
She's like, do I
don't
cook?
have a choice. I don't have a choice.
All right, so this should be good. And you know, with my recipes, you don't have to do it the way I do it. You can make it your way. And you know, you can make it low sodium, which is where you get in trouble with the soups.
Yeah.
People think that they're gonna eat soup and they're gonna save calories, and then they've got all that sodium in there. So let's get right to this. We've got some shredded cabbage here and carrots and our vegetables, and it's really all gonna go into one pot. And right now I've got some beautiful onions sauteing here with some olive oil. Doesn't that smell good?
Yeah,
like
love
ladies,
that.
if you just wanna do the old trick, just put some onions and olive oil and let it cook. People think you're making a gourmet meal,
It's
right?
so great. The
It's
whole
so
house
true,
smells
right?
nice.
You hadn't
Everyone's
even
like, "Ooh, what you
started yet.
cooking?"
You don't even know
Yeah.
what you're making yet. You're just sauteing onions, right? All right, so I'm just gonna put my lid right here, and we are just going to put everything in the pot. There's no rhyme or reason. I've shredded this cabbage nice and
So
thin.
you put that in before you put the liquid? You put
I
the
do,
vegetables
yeah.
in.
I just
Okay.
put all my vegetables in because what I sometimes do is I might put the lid back on it and let it steam a little bit and cook a little bit more
Yeah.
so the flavors can get all mixed in.
Right.
And the flavors start to come out more when you cook it a little
Yeah,
bit.
I
So
agree, okay.
I've got cabbage, I've got my carrots, I've got some celery salt. I actually love celery salt. So I'm just gonna put like 1, 2, 3 pinches, big pinches, not little pinches, right? And I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper in here, boom,
Nice.
or a lot. I actually like pepper. And my other thing that I really like is garlic powder. I eat so much garlic. My friends are like, we're all eating garlic. I'm like, oh
Together.
yeah,
Yeah, you gotta
together.
do it as a team.
We do
It's
it
a
as a
team
team.
activity.
And lastly, we're gonna throw in our kale. Kale is so hearty and it's so delicious. And it's just gonna, you know, when it cooks down, it's still gonna be hearty.
Right.
So you're getting a lot of vegetables in this soup, and you know, it's gonna be a healthy alternative that you can say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give my body a break today, and I'm just gonna have a soup day. I love soup days.
So I got to ask you something. I know kale is super popular. I'm not a huge kale fan.
You're not?
Not a huge fan, but you were saying that it doesn't have to be exactly your way. You can change. So let's say I wanted to put spinach in. Would that work
You
instead?
can
Because I love
totally
spinach,
put
right?
spinach. And I love that. That's a
Right.
great question, Dr. Steve, because there's a couple things I've found out that you're not really that crazy about.
Yes, there's a few.
Just a few. So I think we all have those things. Like, I don't like celery, so I didn't put celery in my soup. But if you like celery,
Put it
chop up some celery and put it right in there. I'm actually using, I just want to point this out, this is low sodium chicken stock.
Right.
As I said, the name of the game here is giving your body an opportunity to take a break and take in a lot of nutrients and nutritious vegetables. By adding a lot of salt, you kind of defeat the purpose when you do that.
Sure.
So go for your low sodium broths. And I know I use chicken stock, but if you are a vegetarian, just use vegetable stock. You
Yeah.
know, it works that way. So now we're just gonna put the lid back on. You're gonna cook it for about 30 minutes, all right? And boom, you've got soup, not just for today, you've got soup for like 3 or 4 days. I usually pull out my biggest pot when I make soup because what you don't eat, you can always throw it in the freezer and have it for later.
Yeah, that's the best
Fantastic,
way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys ready for some soup?
So ready.
It smells so good. And I love cooking soup, and it just kind of, you know, floats through the entire house, and you're like,
does.
oh my gosh, this is getting good,
Yeah.
it's getting good.
Especially in the winter.
Right? In the
Oh,
winter
yeah.
when you're locked up in the house and it's too cold to go outside. Or there's a foot of snow.
Something like that. Right? Ooh, look at that.
But look at that, see? And so I know, Dr. Steve, that you are not crazy about the kale. But
Okay.
now that the kale is cooked down,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give some
Oh,
little
yeah.
broth
Do that
right
broth
there.
in
Look
there.
at that.
Yeah, look at
Here,
that.
you want that?
Oh, no,
Hold
ladies
on.
first. Ladies first.
Okay.
Look
Oh,
at the ladies
look at
first.
you're such a gentleman.
I'm trying.
I'm trying to take care of my co-host here. All right, Angela, that's for you.
Can't wait.
And then, let's see,
Mm-hmm.
Kristen. Soups are an amazing dish to have on hand,
Right.
especially if you're just trying to. In the winter, we all put on that extra little winter coat, right? Because we're trying to
Sure
stay
do,
warm.
yep.
And soups are just a great way to kind of interject, you know, from those hearty meals when you're trying to
Yeah.
like have a stew because you want to be extra warm. And chili's really popular in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
So here, Dr. Steve, I'll give you a
you.
little more.
So good. to
See,
me.
there
Thank
you go. Loving on the doctor today with food. You know, food
Oh,
is
yeah.
love. Food is love. Hang
Right.
on a second.
Oh, we
Let
gotta
me hit you
garnish.
with a
Yeah,
little
girl.
garnish.
There
A
you
little
go.
garnish.
Thank you.
Here you go, Dr. Steve.
Yeah. Look
Boom.
at that.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
All right.
Okay.
All good? We're good?
Right.
Now it's time to taste. We're going to put this dish to the taste test.
I'm going to get some kale in it.
Yeah,
Oh, look,
right?
he's going
Because
after
you
the
said-
kale.
you
Look
said
at
to
you.
do it, so I'm gonna-
I'm so
Go for the
impressed.
kale.
You know, Dr. Steve made a very good point. I just want to reiterate it.
wow.
Any recipes that you see here on Doctor and the Diva that I give to
really
you,
good, right?
by all means, mix it up, switch it out, take it out, put it in. After all, I'm not there eating it. It's you. You have to eat
Yeah.
that. All right,
It's really
Angela,
good.
what do you think?
I love it.
You
and
do?
I'm like, I can say I'm kind of like a soup Nazi where like your soup has to be good for me to say it's good. Do you know what I mean? Like I have a
Right,
high level
yeah.
of like.
Sure.
And it's so good. It has all those like flavors in it.
All those flavors. Kristen, what do you think?
Oh, I love it.
All right, you love it?
Yes,
Good.
it's so good.
Good.
It's almost like you can eat it throughout the day too. It doesn't just have to be
No,
for,
not at all.
for lunch. You
Right.
know,
Love
that's
it.
the best
Right.
part.
Dr.
It
Steve
feels
likes it.
good. Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
good, I have to tell you. The kale is good with the broth all in because it kind of takes it down. You know,
Yeah,
for me,
absolutely.
kale's always been a little
it's
bitter.
not kale can be
Yeah.
intimidating,
Yeah.
and kale can be a bit intrusive, right?
Exactly.
Because the leaf is dense, it's hardy, and the texture. But once it cooks down and you put it with other things, then it's
Fantastic.
just kind of it
Yeah.
becomes it plays well with
Exactly.
other vegetables. How
Yes.
about that?
But I think I have a new name for it.
What?
Because with all the cabbage, I think we should call it the gimme gas soup. Gimme gas
So
soup.
you will definitely have a little bit of that going on, you know what I'm saying? But you're gonna feel so good once it's all out,
But
all right?
it is really good.
And here's a little tip for you guys. This is what I do. You wanna beef this soup up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you have chicken or you have steak the night before and you got a little leftover,
Put in.
throw
That's
it
a good
right in
idea.
there, warm that thing
Mm-hmm.
up, and it becomes a
shred it
complete
properly,
meal.
like
It
shred
becomes,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
becomes
I could
a
even
complete
think
meal.
of like some little orzo pasta in here.
Ooh, that's
You know,
a
to give it a
good
little,
one.
like,
Oh, I
little
love
bite to it.
this.
Yeah.
This is what being
See,
in the
this is what it
kitchen.
is.
This is what it's all about. You know, you take a recipe
Yeah.
and you know, all of a sudden, one recipe, we just came up with 6 more recipes.